How y'all doing today? My name is Damian Pacheco from the Reaching Branch, and you're watching Rant, my weekly talk about a particular subject that happens to be on my heart that maybe might be of some value and benefit to you. So this week we're going to be talking about an incredibly important subject, and it's a subject that I could spend all hour on, but I'm only going to spend more like 5 minutes. I promise I'll be done soon. And that concept and that talk is going to be on honesty. Now, let me ask you a question. This is from me to you. Do you consider yourself to be an honest person? Now, I know most people are going to be like, of course. I mean, I'm talking to a camera, but I'm going to assume there's somebody behind this camera and watching this video who just asked themselves the question, am I honest? And the answer, of course, for most people is absolutely. Yeah, I think I'm an honest person. And you know what? I think I'm pretty honest too. But you know what? We're all a bunch of liars. And I'll tell you why. When you go to a coffee shop, when you go to a place where you can get maybe a little cup of coffee, a little cup of tea, right? You go up to the waiter or the waitress, or nowadays they call them baristas, right? And you go up to them and you're just like, I'd like a latte. And they said, would you like a piece of cake with that latte or perhaps a brownie? And you're just like, no, I couldn't do that. Meanwhile, the back of your head is screaming, darn right, I want a brownie. I want the whipped cream. I want the caramel. Right? You lied. Now granted, it's a socially acceptable lie. It's the type of lie we tell people when we don't really want to go into the nitty-gritty details like, yes, I'm on the diet and I have to count my calories and I had 1,500 and then I went down to 1,200. Oh my God, I'm in the red, I have only, right, and I owe 5,000 calories. Yeah, of course, we're not going to tell them that nobody cares, right? Everybody's on a diet these days. But the point of the matter is it was a little white lie, okay? And it's the type of lie that we tell everybody, but it's not really going to affect our self-esteem, right? We don't look in the mirror and say, oh my God, I hate myself, right? We're fine. But there are other little white lies, right? You tell a little white lie. Sometimes you'll tell a little blue lie and you get depressed. Some of you are going to figure that out a little later. And there are other types of lies that we tell. We tell malicious lies, the types that, break up our marriages and relationships. I've had one of those before. You ever been in one of those? Yeah, it's horrible, right? We have those types of lies. So the ones that we tell because we don't want to tell a little kid where grandma really went when she passed away. Right? You know what I'm saying? There are some lies that we tell that are meant to help and to heal and to console. So those are kind of acceptable too to some degree. And then there's the lies that we tell that are for good purposes. Like, for instance, I was working with a coworker of mine and she had a contest that she was supposed to do. And I spoke to my manager about it. I said, that's a really lofty goal. And I think it's great. But what happens if somebody else sells this particular product and she can't reach her goal simply because we don't have the product? We talked it over and said, okay, well, instead of 10 of the product, we'll sell 6. And we won't tell her. We're just going to let her think she has to sell 10. Well, by the end of the night, she blew past what she thought she was going to do, like whatever we thought. And at the end of the night, even though she didn't reach the 10, she blew past the 6. And the whole time I was just like, no, well, you got to sell 10. You got to get on. It's like 8 o'clock now. Come on, get it on, right? Did I feel bad about that? No, because I was motivating somebody. It's a different type of lie. But the lies that I want to talk to you about, the honesty that I want to talk to you about is the honesty with yourself and other people that can erode who you are. And same place, same work environment. A couple of days ago, I was asked to make a particular drink for a customer. I happened to work for a major coffee company, and we didn't have the topping that was necessary to make the drink properly. Well, I called one of my fellow partners over there, one of my fellow coworkers. I said to him, well, you know what, can you do me a favor? Can you make me this topping so that I can make this drink properly for the person? Now, this particular friend of mine went out and made it, and then a couple of minutes later after I handed it on, he said, they would have never known. And I want you to know that this coworker is a good friend of mine. This person is fabulous. They do their job very well. But at that particular moment, the only response I could come up with was, yeah, but I'll know. And my father taught that to me, and my mother also said it to me, but my dad really kind of hit this home. He said, Damien, when you're out there and you're doing a job for somebody, when you're asked to do something for somebody else, you could go out there and give them a cheap job, or you could give them less than they paid for or whatnot. You could do that. A lot of people do that. It's sad to say, we don't want to say that, we don't want to believe that other people, but the fact of the matter is it happens. But when you come home and you look in that mirror, when you're face to face with the man in the glass, Are you happy with what you see? And when he told that to me, when he said that to me, and it was echoed years later through a man by the name of Angelo Nardoni, who hipped me to a poem called The Man in the Glass. And if you haven't read that poem, I highly suggest you check it out after seeing this video, because it explains everything that I'm saying here so much shorter than I am. That didn't come out right, but you get the idea. It explains that whole concept of, at the end of the day, when you've told somebody a lie, or you've given inferior work, or you've done something that you didn't prepare somebody properly, or maybe you did something, or you said something to somebody that wasn't quite the truth, and it was really more self-serving as opposed to thinking of them, then in the end, the person that you have to face is not them, although it may come back to bite you days and years later. But really the person that you have to face, and the person whose opinion matters, is yours. And so what I bring to you today in this rant is that your honesty, your integrity, how you view other people is going to skew how you live your life. Because everything comes back to you. And if you give forth the truth, if you're honest with yourself and you're honest with other people, then that's going to come out as a little thing called authenticity. Because you know what? You ever go out there and you see people that you just know they ain't trustworthy? Yeah, you got them, they're talking around, they're like, you know, they got this little swagger to them, they could talk your ear off, but you know something's not quite right, and you know what, you can't put your finger on it, you're just like, well, it's this and this and that. No, it doesn't work like that. It's like, it's a feeling, an overarching feeling that something's not right. Well, when you're honest with yourself, when you're honest with other people, when you do all of your dealings as if you lived in a glass house, that you are transparent, that you are open and honest, and that person comes to you and they know what they're dealing with, they know they're dealing with a solid rock. When you're living life like that, then what's going to happen is you're going to come across that way without saying a word. It's a feeling. And if you want to have that feeling, if you want to go out in your business dealings, in your daily dealings, in your relationships, in your life, as somebody that people can look at and say, that person is trustworthy, I want them on my team, then I highly suggest that you take some of the concepts that I'm talking about here and really think about it. Because there are multiple types of lies out there. There are different ways that we go about it. Some of them, like I said, are socially acceptable. Some of them are done because we want to protect somebody or help them. Some of them are done to motivate. But then there's the ones, like I said, that are going to take you and hurt you. And take your self-esteem and the way that you looked at yourself and lower you. And because you know you've done something wrong, you know that you're guilty, you know that you haven't done 100% what you could do to add value to other people, then what's happened is that you're giving that vibe and that spirit off to other people. Now, if you're like me, I don't want to do that. I want you to know flat out that I'm doing what I say I'm doing. And that's the most important thing. Look in the mirror. If you don't like what you see, change who you are, because you can do it. I believe in you. This is Damian Pacheco from the Reaching Branch. You have just watched Rant! Reach from the roots towards the life of your choosing, bearing good fruit all along the way. Have a great day.